Hey guys, this is Lightstar, and this is my third quarter of 2020 Oracle Consciousness reading. So we're going to be going into a deep dive into what is coming up in the next few months, and also how you can better prepare yourself and what you need to do to be better prepared for some of the changes coming. So let's go into this. I want you guys to just grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab whatever, popcorn, snacks, whatever, and let's go into this a little more deeply. And I think you guys will really get some assistance and guidance with this, because there's definitely a lot of turmoil happening right now, and I wanted to see what would be coming up. So I use my Magical Dimensions Oracle cards in my reading to help you get some guidance for the world and for what's happening. So let's get started. Hello and welcome, all you beautiful souls. This is Lightstar, and we're back for another episode of my Oracle Consciousness reading for the third quarter. So I typically do these quarterly. I used to do them more seasonally, but I realized when I did this across the world, there's different seasons and different times. So we're really just terming these as quarterly readings. And I am going to dive in to give you a look at what I see and what's coming up for this next few months. So I also want to thank all of you guys that have been hanging with me on my journey here. And I want to welcome any newcomers that are here for the first time. If you'd like to join this beautiful tribe here, then just click that subscribe button. YouTube calls it subscribe. I just call it joining the tribe. Or if you're watching this elsewhere, because I do have other channels, so if you're watching it there, you can also subscribe there. Or you can also share this video and put a like on it here, whatever, leave comments. I love you guys, and I love all your comments all the time. So I really appreciate you all. If you'd like to, those of you like to go onto my Patreon site, you can go on there and support my work. Right now I am building that. So I will be doing some upcoming special things for my patrons. And I want to thank those of you that have gone on there and already are supporters. I really, really appreciate you. I appreciate all of you guys watching, no matter if you donate or support or not, but I just really love all of you guys, and I thank you all for watching. But if you do want to support my work, I really appreciate that. For all of you who have been watching for many years, I now have a way for you to support. So I really appreciate that. Again, I'm on a few other channels and other video platforms. I do want to just mention one of the video platforms, and all of these are in the description area below with the links and everything to, again, to the Patreon, to the other sites where you can also do some support work there too. And they are getting hammered right now on these social media platforms, let's just say. So I want to just say that there's even a block or a ban to the whole, one of them, I don't even know if I can say it because I know that Facebook is banning it or blocking it. Don't know if YouTube is yet or not, but right now my site that starts with a B and ends with eon.com is actually, you can't even put links to it in Facebook anymore because they've blocked the whole site. And that's mainly just because it's a free speech site, and so they didn't like what was being put up, I guess. So it's just a big mess right now. And so you can still go there, but I can't put links to it anywhere because it will not, it won't be linked. So if you do get blocked, I don't know, YouTube still has the links on there, so you can try that. But again, I'm also on BitChute and wherever you guys want to watch it, okay? But I do want to bring this up because it brings up a good point, because there's so much going on right now with the bans and the censorship happening, that I want to invite you guys to, if you're having trouble with social media and being deplatformed or whatever's happening, censoring, I have a resource for you guys that I've talked about a couple times. His name is Matthew Raymer, and he is really super helpful at this. His business is called Anomalist Design, and he actually helps people with replatforming on social media. He is a wonderful person, and I highly suggest his links again will be below. They can help you to get onto other platforms. He helped me tremendously and saved me a ton of time. So please go check out his services. He offers not only just replatforming assistance on social media and video help and all of that with it, but also he does consulting work, and he works with people that are creators just like you and me that are on here creating and helping and consulting work. And he also does a lot of design, website design and all that kind of stuff. So please go check out his site and his help. He's a tremendous help at this really near serious time right now where we need somebody that has this kind of service. So go check that out. Also want to just again tell you guys that I so appreciate your patience with me and coming up with new video content. It's a lot of work to do these, and I got bogged down and didn't have a lot of time to put into what I wanted to. And so I'm trying to get to these videos as quickly as I can and as much as I can throughout my schedule. As many of you know, I'm working on my second Oracle deck. And so it's definitely a lot of work, and I have a deadline. Oh, deadlines, don't we love deadlines? But it means I will get it done. So it just means that some of the stuff I want to do has to be put off a little bit or maneuvered around. But so that's enough about announcements, all that kind of good stuff. So let's go into this reading. So what I want to do first, as I usually like to do before I go into what I feel is coming or whatnot, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we just sort of learned as of the second quarter, what we were supposed to be learning. And I always like to look at that. Now, this reading, I typically like to do some of the readings that are in my Magical Dimensions Oracle deck guidebook. And I have done that, like the half moon key formation and things of that nature. But I was guided just to do free for all here kind of reading, just an intuitive read, not necessarily a specific layout for what's coming. So what I just was guided to do was to get a series of 2 cards together. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a couple of cards in groups that are going to give, telling a little bit of a story in a way, but it's just sort of an intuitive read on this. So, and I'm using my Magical Dimensions Oracle cards for those of you guys that already are familiar with this deck, but you can also purchase this on my website too if you would like. The deck itself is so highly accurate and amazing, and I love using it, obviously, and I always use it in these readings because it helps to give us the energy of what's coming up or what we need to learn and all that good stuff. So what I looked at first, so let's look at that. Okay, so what we just came out of or are coming out of from this second quarter? And I'm choosing 2 cards, and the 2 cards that I'm picking together, so I'm going to show them up on the screen here, and you'll see them together, but this is what it is. So we've got the Trust card, okay, number 42 Trust card, and then we've also got Exploration, which is number 15. So we've got Trust and Exploration as kind of what are the things that we were supposed to be coming out of to learn. And I do feel that I'm going to read the words that are underneath the cards because I don't know, they might be harder to see since I have to make them a little smaller on the screen. But we have Overcoming Doubts, Insecurities, and Patience for the Trust card. We have Boldness, the Unknown, and Limitless on the Exploration card. So what I feel with this message, and I typically with the Trust card, this is, overcoming doubts and insecurities, and it feels like this card has come up quite a bit in the last few years because I feel like that's something we're working with all the time primarily. But I do also feel that this time period of the last second quarter was just all about not knowing, the insecurity, the fear that comes up, what we've all had throughout the whole pandemic experience and everything that's come from that. We have been topsy-turvy, unsure of ourselves. Do we reopen? Do we not reopen? Do we go out? Do we not go out? Do we wear a mask? Do we not wear a mask? What do we do? Like, we've had to make some pretty giant decisions. Okay, so it's been a very uncertain time, so that's very true. And then we're kind of looked at the exploration as kind of like the going down the rabbit hole in a way, where we've had to just boldly go into uncharted territory. And so that's what we've been experiencing, okay, from this. And I feel that sometimes we have to go through those times to really understand what's going on and in our lives and in the overview of every one of us individually. And then, our whole world has been in just utter and total chaos. So there's been a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of things we just don't know, we haven't known. And yet there's a lot of things that are coming out of that as well. So from the unknown, we come into the known, right? So it's been a time of exploration of ourselves and how we deal with crisis and how we deal with our doubts and our fears and everything, the chaos and in the chaotic world. So that's really what we're seeing, is the expression of how did we do? How did we do? Well, let's just go into the reading for this next third quarter. So the first section here now that I asked the question of so that was kind of what did we just come out of? But now we're going to say, like, what's ahead? What is ahead for the next few months, really? And the cards that I picked here are Transformation, no shock there, number 41. And then we also have Crown Portal, which is number 8, and that is connected to the crown chakra energies. So with this, we've got Transformation, which is metamorphosis, synchronicity, and the unexpected. And then we also have the Crown Portal of divinity, unity, and separation. So let me explain here. This is what I feel that these cards are showing us or telling us in the energy. Get ready, okay? So get ready for some crazy transformation and change. This is basically change, okay? We don't like change as a whole on this planet. Everyone freaks out at change. So it somewhat is going to be a little bit chaotic too, with that signifying that there are things ahead. I like the word that's unexpected on here, because I also feel there are things that are going to come out of the woodwork. We're not going to be expecting. So there's already some of that that's already been happening as I am speaking, but we're also seeing more of that coming for in this coming next few months, where more things are going to be revealed and disclosed, basically. Unrevealed. I want to say it's not unrevealed, it's revealing, it's unveiling. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. The unveiling and the revealing of new content, new information that is going to be discovered, that uncovered, that we will maybe be a little bit shocked. Okay, so you might get prepared a little bit for the shock and awe type of energies that I feel are coming with this. Now, the Crown Portal is very interesting in the mix of this, because I feel like what's happening at the moment that I'm actually filming this, we've got a ton of separation energies. Divide and separate. We've got racial movement, stuff going on. We've got a lot of unrest in our world right now because of that. It's almost like this, pushing towards civil war and all this crazy stuff that's happening. And so all of that signifies the opposite of what the Crown Portal really is. The Crown Portal is all about unity consciousness, right? Together as one, we, go through it together, and we are all connected and all of that energy. But now we see this kind of, I want you to look at this card as though it's in the opposite position, the reverse position, even though my deck is not really meant to be read like that, but you can read like that if you want to. It's not a tarot deck, it's an oracle deck. But even with that, I don't have like reverse meanings of the cards if they turn up upside down. But you can certainly read them that way, because I always let people love it when people actually do their own interpretations of their card readings. But that's how I'm seeing this at the moment. It's almost like we have the opportunity to go in the upright position, to have total unity consciousness and change in a positive way. But then we also have this current, what might be coming is more showing us the separation between us, the divisions that are happening, and the powers that, shouldn't be, that are allowing these things to propel them, to spark it, to ignite it, to make it worse. And so that's what we're seeing a lot of, this unrest. Not saying that there are things that people shouldn't speak up, or people shouldn't say what they need to say. Of course, there should be that in our world. But I do feel that what's getting a spotlight, what might be getting exemplified, or more fueling of the fire, is that separation energy. It's not where we want to go. It's not where we want to be for the whole world. Okay, so it doesn't matter what continent you live on and where you are geographically in the world. It doesn't matter that we have to be united as a whole entire world here to see how we're going to get through this. So there are some, and there's some things we've already seen from some of the protesting here in the US as well, where we've seen some of the policemen actually getting very, humbled and, shaking hands with some of the protesters and understanding what's going on. I'm not going to go into all that, but I'm just saying there are always some good things that do come out of this. It shows us where we're at. So I want everybody just to be a little bit on the aware side that there will be some things coming up even more in the next few months that I feel are going to maybe be surprises and things that are maybe shocking to a lot of us, as if we haven't had enough of that already, right? So, but just to be on the, awareness mentality and keep your emotions in order, okay? So I also wanted to ask, okay, so that's coming up. So now I'm asking, well, how do we best prepare for this coming change, or the coming changes and things that are happening? And I do feel there's going to be changes throughout this whole year. It's not just the next few months, but I do feel there's going to be some heightened activity that's already started that I feel will come into play. But here's what I was asking is, how do we best prepare? Okay, so what I received here is the contemplation card, and which is number 7. And also the Celestial Assistance card, number 5. So we've got contemplation, which is silence, knowing, releasing control. We'll come back to that one. And then angelic messages, guidance, and enlightenment. Okay, so how do we best prepare for all of this stuff, right? This is the Buddha mentality, where you go into that, release the control that you have about any certain outcome, about how things are supposed to be, or that trying to control things in the way that, this is pertinent to our own individual lives, that we got to be careful about pushing too much control in our lives. But in the whole of things, we also have to be mindful. And that's where I talk about in this oracle consciousness, in the macro environment, where we look out, watch out for too much control, okay? So there has to be some level of control, but we also have to have that level of letting and releasing control and getting quiet in our minds. I feel that this is also saying that in order to kind of prepare for us what's coming and to deal with it, is that we've got to be mentally very conscious and aware of our thoughts, and not only our thoughts, but our words. We have to be careful about how we speak to other people. We have to be careful of how we are thinking about whatever's going to happen, because I also feel like we are the ones that create this consciousness. So, right, as a whole, we create this consciousness. I know that a lot of you guys hate that when we say you create your own reality. It's like, oh God, are we tired of hearing that? And some people don't even believe that's true. But I happen to be one that actually does believe that, because I've seen it in my own life for sure, that you create, your thoughts create, your words create. you are able to manifest. So in that way, we're able to manifest on a very large level, on the macro level, on the consciousness that gets created and manifest based upon what we're thinking and what we're saying, and how we're emotionally as well, that powerful emotion that goes behind it. So all those things have to line up, right, to be able to manifest in a positive outcome. So let's not create a negatively based timeline that creates chaos, confusion, separation, hatred, anger, all those things that we don't want. We have to shift that in our mindset about allowance and releasing control, and particularly I feel is releasing the control of how you feel other people, or what you feel other people should think, how they should think, what they should believe. Okay, because that's none of your business what somebody else believes or holds true for themselves. Okay, that is like get out of somebody else's lane, basically. I always like to say that. Stay in your own lane. This is truth. Stay in your own lane. Be as clear and as conscious as possible, and you can send people love and you can send people whatever, but don't try to change everybody else. You know, it's the change starts with you. The change starts with each one of us, okay? So that's very important. That's how we get through this. And then obviously bringing in the enlightenment of the angels and all the spiritual help. But I also feel this really brings it down to having faith. Okay, so this is having faith, having trust, and having knowing that everything will be okay. Okay, things may be topsy-turvy, so turn to, I'm not saying like specific religion, I'm just saying turning inward to the conscious connection that you have with spirit, okay, whatever that means for you, but to knowing whatever your faith is in the world, having faith in whatever you need to hold on to for having faith, okay, so that's really important, and I feel that's what that's saying about getting us through this is to hold on to that highest frequency that all will be well in the end. I do feel that will happen. It's just that, you know, when things need to come up, okay, the highest vibrations need to come up. That means some of the lower vibrations also need to come up so that we can cleanse those, and then we can move on to the higher frequency. So that's kind of what I'm feeling with that. So then I'm going to leave this reading with the end here that talks about what are we learning from this, or what are we gaining from this? What's important, you know, I guess that's really where we want to go with it in the third quarter. And we get the cards of empowerment, number 13, and throat portal, number 40. So we've got empowerment of grounded strength and stamina, and then throat portal of speaking your truth, courage, or suppression. Well, this is kind of what I was just talking about in a way, where it's like, what are we trying to learn from this? Well, I do feel we're also learning with this empowerment, with the empowerment card, which is all about power. We get to learn about what is important, what needs to be as a priority, what do we need to fight for? Okay, so what are you fighting for, in other words? That's what I feel this card is driving at. And so being very conscious and aware of what the whole reason for this is. What are you fighting for? And sometimes you have to stop if you're, you know, really battling forward and just, you know, driving on. And then you kind of go, what's the whole purpose for me doing this? It's got to be a very significant purpose for why you're doing what you're doing. So just taking a look at some of the actions, the words, and what you speak. And this is, again, to end on the throat portal, which is basically the throat chakra, of really being conscious of our voices. And I also want to say this is also a lesson for us in how to, I use this term a lot in my session work, where I say, how do we want to use our divine voice? There's a difference between our divine voice and then our voice, which is the 3D voice. Okay, so there's a difference there, and to be very conscious, I feel, of how you're utilizing your voice, your divine voice, and to what that looks like. What does it feel like? How does it feel like to be speaking in your own divine voice? You have to speak up for something and not be suppressed about what you're speaking up about, yes, but then have to be very aware of how that's coming out, how it's coming forth. How does it sound, to literally the sound. How does it sound? How does that vibration come across? And you can say something really triggering other people. Okay, so I think the trigger word is coming up. Yes, that trigger word, because everyone's triggering everybody else right now. It's like one person says and then it triggers that, and then somebody else triggers that, and then it just keeps going, and then there's like a domino effect of trigger, and we have to go, gosh, let's just rein that all back here and look at what's important first. What's the most important thing, and what did I take too personally, or how do I speak in a way that doesn't trigger? Okay, so that's what I feel is going to be this whole process in the next few months, really. And it's our summertime in the US, may not be somewhere elsewhere, but in the next few months. So I'd say in our US it's going to be hot summer in so many different ways. So just helping to get us prepared, most importantly, is to be aware of your actions, be aware of your behaviors, be aware of your speech, how you're coming across to other people. Very important. So in this time of chaos, in this time of craziness and tumultuous roller coaster riding, knowing that all will be well in the end, a lot of things have to come up to the surface. I know that in one of the channeling messages that I brought forth for 2020, Hilarion, Master Hilarion, and you can take a look at that on my channel as well, that he was talking about some of the things in that was going to be coming out is our soulality, is how he called it. It's not individuality, but soulality, that we get to experience that and start to feel what that really means, what that's like. And I also feel like that will be coming forth even more so. So I feel like there's some things coming out of this. He also talked about, very interestingly, about some of the things that are happening right now, not with the pandemic, because he didn't really go into that. But what he did say, which I find interesting, is that he was talking about how corporations or companies will start to really see that these employees are the lifeblood of the company, and they will start to be doing more benefits, more things will be coming out to provide more benefits for employees. And that's exactly what's happening. Not that it's happening in a great way because of the whole reason how it happened, but how it's happening is pretty profound. And look at even the thing that I think is pretty amazing in and of itself, is that the unemployment benefits that are typically not even including sole proprietors, self-employed, it's never included any of these people like us. It did. And now the law changed for that so that they could get assistance too. And so I feel like that whole value ship is changing, like who we value here is changing. And I know it's a weird way and some people might like disagree with that, but I do see how that is coming forth. So there's some good things that are outcomes that are coming forth because everything has to come up to the surface. We have this year of this brilliant opportunity this year to come from our highest perspective. But to do that, we have to turn that lens and try to refocus and see what is not working, and all the things that are coming out that are a problem in our world are coming out so that we can better address them. So that's why this is such a big year. It's not all about like everything's going to be perfect and you just get to, be in your high frequency. It's like, no, we're going to have to delve into some pretty heavy duty stuff for this world. And that's what we're doing. The deep dive, as you would, say, that's what it is. So you guys hold on to your hats. Everything's going to be okay, but you're going to have to just prepare and hunker down for some heavy stuff to come through, because this is just a natural process. And I feel like in a way we kind of have to just rip that Band-Aid off because, we really want to get this going. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off, get it over with, and get on with some of the more positive vibrations after the fact. So that's all I have for today. I just really wanted to share what I feel is coming up. I want to give you guys all a big, giant, loving hug from the spirit world and from all of the different beings that I work with, as well as just this overlighting sense of hope and joy and happiness and peace and calm that I feel, you guys, we really need to have all of it right now in the midst of all of it, the chaos and confusion. So wanted to say that. Also want to share, if you guys want to get my Magical Dimensions Oracle deck, it is on my website. You can check out all of my stuff there, which is lightstarcreations.com. And you can also look at all the different things I offer. I have created my 444 music activation that is now on there. A lot of you guys have been getting that and loving them. For those of you who have not yet, oh my gosh, you don't know what you're missing. They are so beautiful, and it can really be helpful at this time because I made these actually in this sort of time frame. So they actually help your body calm down. Okay, so it's calming, they're soothing energies, they're all different. We've got an angelic one, a fairy, elemental one, we've got a magical one, we've got one that's like more Mother Earth energies. So there's kind of something for everyone because there's 4 activations there. Highly recommend you guys go check that out. You can go onto my website, check out the music activation, and listen to the little snippets that are on there. I have a bundle that you can get 10% off of the music itself if you buy all 4 of them, which most people are doing from what I'm seeing, or you can buy them individually if you want to. And they are just really, really powerful. And I have more that's coming out as well on that. I also have my light language activations class, foundations audio class that is also on there. And that can be really helpful too, because I've got a full healing activation in there that walks you through my light language chakra clearing, and you get a lot of stuff with that. So I highly recommend that as well. And plus all my artwork, you guys, go check it out. All the stuff behind me that you see, except for the bamboo, which is not my art, but the other stuff is, and I have lots more on there that are all available to help you guys out in this time frame with some visual assistance as well. And I've got just lots of other stuff on there, so go check out all the goodness. But in the meantime, I will send you guys off with lots of love, lots of blessings from the angelics and the elementals and the fairies and the ascended masters and the galactic beings and all the different beings that are around you that are always, always supporting you. Never, ever forget you are always supported, never alone. And let's try to really believe in that unity consciousness. Let's really try to anchor that in for our world and for your own world. So starting with our inner world. So let's quell and calm the inner world, and so we can calm and quell the external world as well. So with that said, I want to send you guys off. Once again, lots of love, and I will be back soon with another episode. Bye now.